Yes or no, can Brexit be stopped?
Yes,
How?
technically it can be stopped. The question is, what are the decisions that are going to arise and what are the votes going to be? And doing the best we can with what's likely to happen over the next few weeks and months, I think the first decision will be whether Parliament supports any deal the Prime Minister manages to bring back. On that question, the Labour Party has said, we've got conditions, we're not going to back a bad deal, and if it's not a good deal, we'll vote it down. The next decision is, should there then be a general election? We say yes. Of course we say yes, because the negotiations will have failed. If that doesn't happen, then all options need to remain on the table.
Why is the
one option is a public vote, and that's. Well, I mean, we had a long discussion at our party conference on this, and that's the position that we all agreed.
Even Jeremy Corbyn?
Yes, Jeremy.
So
the whole of the shadow cabinet, the whole of the party coalesced around that position, which is the Labour Party position.
That's the official position. But so why is Jeremy Corbyn then telling a German newspaper that Brexit can't be stopped?
Well, I think he was answering a question about the last referendum and whether we respected it, etc., which of course we do. But as I say, actually, if you look at the structured approach of what's going to happen...
He was really explicit. Brexit can't be stopped.
Jeremy, myself, the whole Labour Party discussed this at conference and came up with a strong position which says that all options must remain on the table.
So should your supporters trust Labour's official position, which you've just laid out, or the leader's actual position, which people actually think he wants the UK to leave the EU?
Jeremy and I and the Shadow Cabinet discuss this regularly. We were all together going into our party conference. Obviously, there were different views about exactly what position we should take, but we all came together around that position. Jeremy agrees with it, I agree with it. Now, I accept, you know, in our party, there are different views, different strengths of views across practically every member has a view on Brexit. Not many have the same view. But in the end, the question is, what's the party's position?
So it's the official position that you say people should trust, not what they might think Jeremy Corbyn secretly thinks?
Yeah, we had a big motion at a conference, and at our conference, the delegates get to vote on those motions. We voted unanimously to support that motion, and that means unanimously everybody voted for it.
Right,
and so that is our position.
And so the official position is, yep, Brexit can be stopped, potentially via a second referendum, and Remain will be on that ballot paper.
Well, the motion didn't proceed in those terms. It looked at the decisions that we've got to make. The first decision is there a deal that can be supported or not? Because we do need a deal, and this Prime Minister looks as if she's increasingly incapable of delivering the right deal back. So we've focused on that first question. Obviously, if she fails in that, there really ought to be a general election. But for we've got a fixed-term Parliament Act, as you know now, which says that you only have elections every 5 years. Before that Act, it would have been unthinkable for a Prime Minister simply to continue if she lost a vote like this. So there actually should be a general election. But if that's not the case, then all options on the table, including a public vote.
How are you... I mean, no deal, most people agree, isn't in the national interest.
No.
And that is Labour's position. How are you going to prevent the country leaving the EU with no deal if Parliament rejects Mrs May's deal?
Well, the first thing is, no deal would be very bad for the company, a country, and I really don't just mean trade. Before I was an MP, I was Director of Public Prosecutions. I was working with Eurojust, which is one of the European agencies that shares information about terrorism, intercepts terrorist cells, etc. We can't put ourselves in a position where we can't be part of all of that, and I don't think anybody, whichever way they voted, would want that.
So how would you prevent the country leaving the EU with no deal?
I think the majority in Parliament would not countenance no deal. And that majority will therefore speak. Whether it's on a motion...
Sorry, what do you mean? What does that mean in practical terms?
Well, more MPs in Parliament will not accept no deal. So what will we do about it? Well, the first thing is there's bound to be a motion that is backed, I would have thought, very heavily saying there is no mandate to leave without a deal. We will then seek to amend... We would then... Well, it may or may not. There'll be an argument about that. There'll be different views. But even if it isn't, there's legislation going through that can be amended. Dominic Raab, the Brexit Secretary, issued 106 technical notices. In that, it says there's got to be 51 changes to legislation by next March for no deal. So we're not going to have a lack of opportunity to vote on no deal. I don't think, in my heart of hearts, that this Prime Minister would attempt to take us out without a deal. She's done a lot of work on things like counter-terrorism and on security of the nation. I don't think she would put that in jeopardy. And if she saw that 80–90% of MPs simply wouldn't back her on that...
She knows that now, doesn't she?
I don't think she will. I think this talk of we'll leave in March without a deal, I think it's a bluff. It's designed to say, vote for my deal or you get something worse.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.